Hello, hello. Hi. Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Wherever you may find yourself, I hope you're doing well. I hope you find yourselves well. At this time in my life, I'm doing very well. If in the future I'm looking through my old highlights and I come across this video and you're a homeless beach bum, I hope that you're still able to do well, Salsa. I hope that you're able to do well and that you can think on something right now and be grateful, regardless of if you have a shelter or not. Something. Just think of something, a good moment you had in your life, and just have trust in Jesus. All right. So, guys, before we get started, let's go ahead and read the inspiration today, and then we'll get into it. So it says, for April 5th, let me fill you with my love, joy, and peace. These are glory gifts flowing from my living presence. Though you are an earthen vessel, I designed you to be filled with heavenly contents. Your weakness is not a deterrent to being filled with my spirit. On the contrary, it provides an opportunity for my power to shine forth more brightly. As you go through this day, trust me to provide the strength that you need moment by moment. Don't waste energy wondering whether you are adequate for today's journey. My spirit within you is more than sufficient to handle whatever this day may bring. That is the basis for your confidence. In quietness, spending time alone with me, and confident trust, relying on my sufficiency, is your strength. That that is a good point. That is a good point. All right, guys, let's get it. So, go ahead and get right here. So, guys, oh wait, Alt tab. Give me 1 second. I gotta just Alt tab this thing. So I do wanna explain why I haven't played Miles Morales 2 days in a row. And that's unfortunately because, and I really don't like to blame anyone else, but unfortunately, Steam has conducted an update. And that update has basically locked my ability to play Miles Morales. And I really don't like to blame anything or anyone, but truly and sincerely, with all my heart, Steam has conducted an update, multiple updates through the past few months that have stymied my ability to freely play Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales easily using Steam. So unfortunately, and it really makes me feel sad to admit, but Steam has actually made it pretty difficult. Over the last few months, they upgraded their big picture mode. And unfortunately, they have pretty much they pretty much broke a lot of the user interface that I was using. And in its place, they've given me nothing And I know what you're saying. This sounds like a first world problem because I'm not starving, I'm not thirsty, and I'm not, dying of health issues right now. Steam hasn't deteriorated my health. I understand, and that is a fair point, which is why I'm not too bummed out about this. It's just the fact of life. Whether I'm working or not working, I'm going to be vulnerable and at the mercy of every single corporation out there. I will be expected to work for the first 14 days for free, and then they'll pay me whatever they want to pay me, right? So I understand. It's not something I'm really complaining about or I'm going to rant about. I just want to let you guys know. I tried I tried working out how it could maybe work and I could stream Miles Morales despite Steam's best efforts to update. But unfortunately, I have been unable to figure it out. Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man is still working. Despite the Steam update, I have been able to get it working. So Steam Steam hasn't broken all my Spider-Man games yet. But I know it's just a matter of time before they update that, and then I can't use that either. But we're gonna just do what we can till we can't do it anymore, guys. Remember, I promised you that a lack of motivation would never be a reason why I stopped streaming. But that doesn't mean that other entities won't be able to stop me. I can very easily be stopped. It just takes Windows to make another update that resets my graphics card and causes it to heat up and burn out. It takes Steam to just update one more thing so I can't play Spider-Man at all. So we're gonna hope that, I can do this for a little bit longer before the powers that be go ahead and end my streaming career. But I do want to say that regardless of what happens, my content that I have already been able to make, as long as it doesn't get copyright struck for some reason or another, I really hope that it brings anyone and everyone who watches it some joy, some inspiration, and some good times. At this time though, there's not really much I can say except that I pray every day that God help guide me to the right place where I need to be. And that's why I'm not really too upset that Steam made an update that broke my game. Because I just have to accept these challenges and trials as something that is ultimately supposed to be a part of the foundation of my life. So, God doesn't really care how we act when things go according to plan. God really wants Jesus Christ really wants to see how we act when things don't go the way we think they will. That is truly the test. And so, like I said, I was expecting to play Miles Morales today and then follow it up with Spider-Man Peter Parker. But because of the updates of Steam that happened just a day or two ago, I am unable to do so. If anyone asks, how come I don't play Miles Morales anymore? I'm just gonna have to say, well, Steam won. Steam won, and I can't stop Steam from conducting updates that, break functionality and user interface. So unfortunately, we just have to go with that. It's like if I were working at a company and then they updated the software and then they're asking me, hey, why aren't you having the same work outflow And I'm like, well, you changed the software I was relying on for the past 4 or 5 months. What did you expect? And they're like, you are fired, sir. And I'm like, well, it's been a good ride. I'm just glad I have no one depending on me to provide them with financial resources. Because if I had kids, if I had a wife and family, I would be toast. The world would have eaten me a long time ago. If I actually had faith in the world and had a family, I would have been eaten a long time ago. But we are lucky. I didn't have any faith or trust that I'd be able to, find my way in the world yet. But maybe, who knows? I just have to have faith in Jesus Christ that it can turn around at some point. And if it doesn't, I still have faith in Jesus that I can just do my best until Jesus calls me, you know? Jesus calls me away from this world and I get a chance at actually being complete peace and at peace, Like I don't have to worry about survival. I can just have my soul rest in peace, you know? So here's to hoping. Here's to hope and prayer and having faith and confident trust. All right. So, last night I saw this movie. After stream, I saw a movie called. Well, I saw two movies. I saw a Studio Ghibli film. I rewatched Porco Rosso, and Porco Rosso is a movie that features a crimson pig called Marco or Porco, and he's been cursed to be a man who's physically he resembles a humanoid pig, and he's an ace pilot, an ace seaplane pilot who makes his money and his living off of fending off bounty hunter or sea pirates, seaplane pirates, and the movie's excellent. It kind of features like World War-esque type things. Like basically, it takes place in the Adriatic, and the Adriatic is like the Mediterranean. And in World War II, the Italians they promoted like I guess like a dictator, and poor people. A lot of Europeans wanted a dictator. I don't know why. In World War II, a lot of different like European collectives, they all wanted a dictator type leader for some reason. Anyways, I mean, and that's why that's why I don't have any false idols. That's why I don't worship anyone but Jesus, because to be quite honest, every country that's had a king or emperor, I mean, really, what can you say about their long-term peaceful longevity? Nothing, right? They always go to war. Every nation and country goes to war. I'm not looking for war. Like I said, if I was sent to war, I'd demand to be on the front line, busy in the front, because there's no way I want to hang in the back and waste my time. I'd rather just be in the front and push it all the way there until I get to go and the war is done. Whether I win or lose, it don't matter. But I don't want to hang out and dwell with other people in a wartime zone. I'd rather just be put on the front. It would be a lot better if war were conducted that way, where all the forces just put their bulk of their forces right on the front and said, okay, my 1,000,000 people versus your 500,000 people, and let's just get it over with. But now it's conducted in a way where it's like smaller groups, and then those smaller groups might find themselves in a lull of battle, and then so they end up like, hiring hiring escorts or assaulting the civilians of a country instead of actually doing war. They just become invading barbarians, and it doesn't matter whether it's ancient era or modern era. We still act the same. The humanity doesn't really change in those circumstances. But anyways, I saw Porco Rosso. Really nice movie, nice ending. And yeah, so we did that, and then I saw another movie called The Last Days on Mars, and it features the guy who played Sabretooth in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. The guy who plays Wolverine's brother, Sabretooth. Yeah. So it features that guy. And basically it's the first expedition. So a group of scientists and people have basically formed an outpost, and we're conducting samples of the soil and trying to just make any sort of discoveries they could on Mars, right? And this was the first team, and one of the team members finds a sample with an anomaly in it and potential microbes that have been boring into the soil, and instead of him coming forth and saying his discoveries to the team, he basically lies. He provides his captain false intel and say, hey, I forgot to fix a sensor array. So then he goes and he lies to the captain. The captain thinks it's just a sensor array issue. So he authorizes him to go out back to the site number 9. And then this guy, not that it matters, but they called him, I guess he represents Serbia, the country of Serbia, the guy who lied to his captain. And apparently the US wasn't even involved, because there was no US flags anywhere. But anyways, so the guy from Serbia, his name was Marco, just like the pig in the Adriatic in the Studio Ghibli film. Anyways, he goes out there because I guess he wants to make some additional claims to the discovery. He doesn't want to share any credit with his team, is what his team thinks. And so, because otherwise he would have just said, hey guys, I discovered something in the briefing. Because they were supposed to have a team meeting, but then this guy found this specimen of microbes, lied to his captain so he could go back out instead of going into the meeting and talking about his discovery and then collaborating. So this guy was pretty much like a guy who just wanted credit for his own for that, instead of crediting with the team and collaborating. Anyways, with that lie, he ends up going back to the site, and then he ends up getting more samples, and then the ground caves in. And when the ground caves in, he falls in, and he basically falls through the ground and he dies, right? The Serbian guy. And then his team, they end up finding out, and then they find out he's dead, and then they call mission control. Mission control says to go ahead and recover the body, and they'll prep final words and whatnot. So they go back, but one person stays behind to just keep watch over the site. And lo and behold, the Serbian guy Marco, he gets affected by a virulent strain of bacteria and gets reanimated as a Martian type zombie. And he's now immune to the lack of atmosphere. His body is immune to explosives, and basically like he's a walking zombie, right? And then so the team, the team of like, you know, Martian, the Martian team, Tantalus is what they're called. Tantalus? Yeah, maybe Tantalus. Anyways, this team, they one by one start, you know, getting like attacked by the, not one by one, but they start dying one by one to like the zombie attacks. And then as the zombies keep attacking, they become more like there's more zombies. So instead of just one zombie with a Serbian guy, they end up like taking another one, Dalby, and she becomes a zombie. And then like the two of them end up like killing the captain, and he becomes a zombie. They kill another guy, he becomes a zombie, and then the whole team becomes zombies. And then the guy who's Sabretooth, he ends up being the last survivor. And then they were supposed to get picked up. It was like in 19 hours there was supposed to be a rover that would come to pick up the crew so they could get substituted for a relief team. And basically the whole team, the whole crew died. Like the crew that was supposed to relieve the Tantalus team, they got killed by the zombies. And basically it was only one survivor, and then that survivor ended up fighting with the last zombie who turned, was part of his crew. And then he thinks he might be infected, so he ends up just using the last of his fuel in the spaceship and just burning out in orbit and just crashing back onto Mars. So the whole expedition was a complete failure. Everyone died. It was pretty bleak. Martian zombies. Martian zombies. You know, Martian zombies. But yeah, that is what happened. So I saw that movie, and then you know, I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So I ended up you know, after that movie, I ended up going to sleep, and yeah, I called it a day. So wasn't too bad, to be quite honest. It was a good movie. And then Porco Rosso was a good movie. So I have no complaints. You know, it was a good evening. It was a good evening. You know? So yeah, I saw a couple movies, and to be quite honest, you know, I'm just enjoying my time. You know, I have April, May for sure to keep my apartment, and then maybe June. Maybe I'll keep June if my landlord decides to go ahead and just use my last, because I paid first month and last month rent in advance, right? So I paid first month, last month in advance, and a direct deposit. So I have the lease contract until August, but because I I had assumed, and silly me, I assumed I would have successfully transferred to the cashiering position here in town from the store I was at previously, the wall store. But silly me, my fault for assuming, right? My fault for assuming my the company I've worked for since 2008 on and off would, you know, work with my flexibility and my schedule so I could continue working for them. But, you know, when a corporation is too big to fail, they don't really care about people anymore. So I don't really blame them. They're just doing exactly what is logical based on not having to actually make any good business decisions or business sense anymore. When a company is too big to fail and they're guaranteed by the American government, there really is no logic that makes sense anymore. It's just, are you a CEO? Are you able to pilfer a golden parachute from your company? If not, then it doesn't really matter what you do. In the same way that I can talk about the update that Steam conducted that has been slowly breaking all the interface that I've been using to stream off of. And because I'm a lone voice, it doesn't really matter, you know? So I can't really say it's something that I'm gonna be able to fix or change. So as opposed to stressing, as opposed to being like hopeless, I'm just like, you know what? Stressing and worrying about this stuff is the hopeless part. But praying to God for salvation, peace, and comfort is not hopeless. So I'd rather just do that instead. It's like, you know, Jesus has not let me down. Jesus has not let me down. The world has definitely kind of let me down, but Jesus has not let me down. You know, speaking of the world, I saw a new trailer for Across the Spider-Verse. The you know, like the movie featuring Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and the trailer I thought was good, and I really do look forward to the movie whenever I can see it. But one part of the trailers basically had a 2099 Spider-Man, or maybe a Spider-Man, I don't know, from another multiverse. They confronted Miles and they said, if you were faced with making a decision between saving a loved one or saving the whole world. And the thing is that they went with the, you know, PC, the very easy answer, and Miles just said, I'm gonna try to save both, you know? But that's not the point, is it? The point is that Spider-Man doesn't get to choose to save everyone. The question was very clearly put. If you had to choose between saving a loved one, so if Miles had to save a loved one, like his family, or save the whole world, what would he choose? Because the other Spider-Man said Spider-Man has to choose the world over his loved ones. And time again, that's what's happened. Spider-Man has to choose saving the world over his own family. And then they brought up Uncle Ben and losing Uncle Ben. And he said if they didn't lose Uncle Ben, they wouldn't have been the Spider-Man that they had to be in order to be a hero. But they went with the easy answer of, no, I'm going to save my loved ones and I'll save the world. But I'm thinking, well, look, I can say that too then. I'm like, you know what? If I had to choose between saving my family, saving like my parents, or saving you know, like saving family, or saving the world, I'll be like, yeah, I'll just save everybody all the time at the same time. But then I'm like, in reality, okay, because the Spider-Man, like this was, you know, it's supposed to be an easy family friendly movie. It's not really supposed to talk about the bleakness or the self-sacrifice because that's the hard part. But I'll talk to you about it. So, if you could only save a loved one or the world, okay, and you can't just cop out and say, "Oh, I'll save everybody," okay? Because then if Miles said, "Oh, I'll just save everybody," like he does, then guess what? The person will say, "Okay, well, what if?" Okay, then they'll say, "Okay, who do you save first?" Because in this scenario, whoever you go to save first will guaranteed be safe, and then the afterwards, the other half of that equation, they die. But the way they phrased it, they let Miles take the easy answer of, no, I'll just save everybody all the time, whenever. No worries. No one has to be unsaved. But I'm thinking, okay, realistically, if you had to choose between saving a loved one or the world, and you couldn't just cop out and pick the PG, the peace, the politically correct, the answer that helps everyone sleep at night, okay, realistically, I'm sure Miles would go to save his family first and then save the world after. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Because if he had to say that he wants to save both and cop out and not provide an answer, that means you know that he literally does not want to admit that he will save his family before he saves the world. And I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a good guy. Okay? Because in that scenario of, okay, if I could save my loved ones or save the world, I'll go ahead and try to save both. But if if Spider-Man said, okay, that's good. But let's say you had to pick who to save first. Would you save the world or save your family first? And then they'll say whoever you choose to save first, because Spider-Man can't split himself up in multiple places. Okay? Like he's not Doctor Strange. He can't clone himself. Okay? So the group he saves first is the group that actually gets saved. So we're in the trailer, they don't make Miles look bad by having to actually choose whether to pick a loved one or the world. But I'm a bad guy. Okay, guys, I'm not trying to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I'm such a good guy." I'm telling you right now that I would try to save my loved ones and I try to, save the world. Absolutely. There are plenty of good people out there that, I would do my best and try to save both. But if I had to choose and save one or the other, okay, I would try to save the world and my loved ones for sure. But who would I go to save first? I would probably save my family first. And if I save my family, and let's say the scenario makes it so that the time I spent making sure my family was safe doomed the rest of the world, then unfortunately that means I was only able to save my family and I doomed the rest of the world. I'm not a good guy. I'm not here to say, "Oh yeah, I'm such a good guy. I'm this, I'm that." No. I'm trying to be real with you guys. I'm being incredibly real. So I don't even mind someone just like me saying, "Hey, look, you're right, man. I would try to save my family and save the world if I could. But if I truly had to pick, I would probably go to save my family first." It's just like in Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 1, the Raimi trilogy. When Green Goblin sets Spider-Man's girlfriend, Mary Jane, on the bridge, and he also sets a Roosevelt cart of children, and he forces Spider-Man to choose. He forces Spider-Man to save either his girlfriend or a cart full of children. Who does Spider-Man go to save first? He saves his girlfriend first, guys. He doesn't save the children first. He doesn't go after the children first. Peter Parker in the Raimi trilogy, and trust me, I know, I saw that scene multiple times. I really thoroughly examined it. He goes to save Mary Jane first. Then, when he has Mary Jane and Mary Jane is safe and he's guaranteed to save her, then he goes after the children. And all I can say is that I don't blame Peter Parker for doing that either. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. He went to save his girlfriend before he went after the cart full of children. And just like in the Miles Morales trailer, they don't make that a fatal decision where he had to pick one or the other. The movie lets him save everybody at the same time. And that is fine, and I'm very happy for that. All I'm saying is that Peter made his choice too. He saved Mary Jane before he saved the cart of children. Miles Morales couldn't even admit that he would save his family first before he'd go after saving the world first. It's just how it is. We are human, guys. We are just people. Okay? Like no one should have to expect to martyr themselves. You know why? Because Jesus already did that. Jesus martyred himself for us. There are no more self-sacrificial gods. You know, Jesus already sacrificed himself to provide us with a way to get saved. So no one should expect another Jesus type figure to save the world over saving their own family. No one here besides Jesus has ever done that and will ever do that. And I'm here to tell you guys again, I believe in Jesus and I'm grateful to Jesus. I will not do the same thing Jesus did. I don't do that. Okay? Jesus sacrificed himself to save the whole world. Okay? I am trying to tell you guys, I would do exactly what Peter would do or Miles would do. Okay? If they had to choose and Green Goblin threw a cart and said, you have to choose, Spider-Man, save your girlfriend or save the children. What did Peter do? Who did he save first? He rescued his girlfriend who was free falling first. Then he went after a cart, a trolley cart hanging off the bridge, and he saved the children. And he saved both. But I'm trying to tell you guys that the point is not that he saved both. It's who he went after first. Because the person he went to save first is the person he wanted to ensure guaranteed safety. The person he went after first to guarantee their safety was his girlfriend. It wasn't the children. It wasn't the children on a field trip. It was his girlfriend. Just like Miles Morales, when he was poised with that question, he did not go ahead and say, oh yeah, of course, I would go ahead and save the world first. He didn't want to say that, did he? No. Because we all know he's going to go after saving his family first. And then if he has time, and then if it's available, he will save the rest of the world. But no one wants to admit that. Okay? Everyone wants to sidestep that. No one wants to acknowledge that's what happens. But that is literally what happens. But no one wants to admit that because it's very troubling, isn't it? It's very troubling. It's very troubling. Jesus already did it. And, I mean, that's just how it is. Jesus already, he served a sacrifice of himself in order to provide us with a redemption, with a salvation. Okay? So, I don't I don't want to hear from anybody saying, "Oh, I would totally sacrifice myself and my family to save the world." I'm sure there are people like that. But guess what? Okay, I watch a streamer, right? There's a streamer I watch. It's the only person I watch now. I watch this streamer, and guess what? That streamer said, yeah, if they had to choose between saving the world or, saving their parents, they would save the world. They would sacrifice their parents. But I'm like, yeah, that's easy for you to say. Why? Because, from what that streamer admitted and painfully admitted, and I wish this streamer the best always, they didn't have a set of loving parents that were together. One of their parents was an absentee parent who basically didn't look out for their child, and the other one was a frail, sick, aloof parent that admitted that their child was a mistake. So obviously that person, that streamer, is going to say, yeah, I'll pick saving the world over saving my parents. But that's because their parents, in my opinion, I have an amazing set of parents. My parents are so good, and I love them so much, that I would sacrifice the world and guarantee I save my parents first than to save the world first. I'd rather save my parents and my loved ones first over saving the world. And to be quite honest, there would only be a few people I'd ever be willing to do that for. I'd sacrifice the world, just like Peter. I'd save my if I had a girlfriend, if I had a wife, I'd save her over the world. If I have kids, I'd save them over saving the world first. I'd save my parents over saving the world first. You feel me? And I don't care if that makes me a bad person. I don't care if someone's going to be out here and say, hey, I would sacrifice all my parents, my wife, and my children to save the world. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And you must be a Christian. And you must have been truly inspired by Jesus to do that. And that's cool. But I actually believe Jesus already made that sacrifice pretty apparent. And Jesus doesn't ask us to sacrifice ourselves in the same. Jesus doesn't ask us to sacrifice ourselves on a cross and put ourselves on a cross. He asks us to acknowledge that Jesus made that sacrifice already. And so we should not ever feel as if Jesus didn't already do a good job. That's what being a real Christian is. A real Christian is saying, hey, Jesus already made the sacrifice that it takes in order to save ourselves and save the world. No one else needs to be a Jesus-like hero because Jesus already sacrificed himself. That's the truth. In my opinion, that's why I would tell you straight up, I'm not a good person. If I had a girlfriend, a wife, whatever, I would make sure that I save them first and guarantee their safety first. And then, if it's like a PG Disney movie type thing and I have, infinite amount of time to save the rest of the world, I will do that. Okay? I promise you guys, if I could save both, I will. But I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm going to save my people first. Just like Peter. Okay, that's in the lore. Peter saved Mary Jane. He dived after Mary Jane on the bridge. He dived after Mary Jane and grabbed her first. And then he went after the cart of children. Okay? That's what he did. Miles was asked point blank, would you save your loved ones or would you save the world? If his answer wasn't, I would save the world first for sure, then he's going to save his loved ones first and then save the world. That's just what he would do. That's what any normal person would do. Because we are only human. Okay? We are only human. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I'm a good guy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be like, oh yeah, I would totally martyr myself. I would totally sacrifice myself or my loved ones to save the rest of the world. I'd be like, no, no, no. I'm gonna make sure my people are good first, and then I would go ahead and save the rest of the world. But if that makes you despise me, if that makes me some sort of like, not a good guy, then I'm sorry. I would totally save the world, but I would save the world after I saved my people first. Okay? That's just how it is. Like, Jesus already made the sacrifice of himself to redeem the world. No one is asking anyone to be Jesus. No one. No one's asking anyone to martyr themselves. And I sure am not planning on doing anything like that either. Like I said, it's just how it is. But I saw this trailer, okay, and I think the movie's gonna be good. I think it's gonna turn out really good. I like the actiony parts and just like the references to like other types of like Spider-Man in like the Spider-Verse. That is so cool. I can't wait. Now, I don't think I'm gonna see it in theaters. But whenever I get a chance, if I ever get to see it, I'm gonna be super excited. I like the first one. The first one was good. I was actually working in the movie theaters when that came out, so I got to see it for free. Really good. I got to see it for free. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't mean to go on these, incredibly deep and profound and honestly really troubling philosophy type questions with you guys, but I'm not gonna mince words, guys. Like, I'm the type of guy that, yeah, if I had a wife, if I had a girlfriend, and guess what? That's how you know you love them. If you love somebody, you would be willing to sacrifice the entire world to guarantee they were saved over saving the world. If you don't feel very strongly about someone, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'll save the world and hopefully I'll be able to save that person I love too. Like, come on. If you don't love someone, then yeah, you're going to be like, yeah, I'll totally save the world first. Yeah, totally, But if you actually love someone, you're going to save them first over saving the world. Is that going to be like, oh man, like he's such a bad guy? I'm like, I never claimed to be a good guy. If you ask me straight up, I'd be like, no, I don't think I'm a good guy at all. I really think I'm not a good guy. And they're going to be like, why? Because if I had to choose between saving loved ones or saving the world, I would make sure I save my loved ones first. And if I have time and if there's still a chance, I will go after saving the world. But I will save my loved ones first. That makes me not a good person. It makes me not a Christ-like martyr. It makes me a guy who has his own life and who has his own sort of love for his people, and he can't actually be Jesus Christ. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. That's why I'm not a good guy. I'll never claim to be. I will never claim to be a good guy. Okay? But really, ask anybody that question. Go ahead and ask anybody, and I'm sure you'll be really surprised. Now, this streamer that I saw on their last stream, and they haven't streamed for a few days. On their last stream, they talked about how there was this person who was talking to an AI, and the AI convinced them that if they self-deleted themselves, that they would ensure that the world is safe, and that they would save the world from climate change. And this AI bot convinced this person to do it. And then what ends up happening is this person left their wife a widow, and they left their children fatherless. And I just think that he probably didn't love his family all that much. Because now he's leaving his family at the vulnerable whims of the world that he supposedly wanted to save. So I can only imagine, like, you know, his wife, she's a single mom, so she's gonna be struggling. Her girls will never have a father there to protect them, because this guy has so much faith that the world is not gonna, you know, exploit his children. They're not gonna harm his wife. And I'm just like, the only, you know, like, I just couldn't. I couldn't imagine doing that. I don't know if this guy was a Christian or not, but I mean, it breaks my heart to think that he left his family behind like that. You know? And for what? Truly for what? You know? For what? That's why I'm telling you guys, I'm not a good guy. Because if an AI bot told me and said, look, if you do this, if you know, do this or that, you will save the world. And I'm like, and then I'll be like to the AI bot, okay, but I'll be like, okay, but what about my family? It's like, well, your family will probably end up being destitute and struggling and, you know, hurting for the rest of their lives. I'll be like, okay, so I can either protect my family and work to ensure they have as good as life as they can, or allow them to suffer, struggle in this world without me, but then some people get to have really good lives and my family doesn't. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not a good person, because I would literally still choose my family. I'd be like, I'm sorry for all the other families that are gonna be in a world of pain and a world of hurt because of climate change, but I still choose my family because I'm not a good guy. You know, like, I don't know. It's really tough to. I know, like, I don't even know if a woman would ever accept me. They'll be like, unless you can martyr yourself, they probably won't date me. I'd be like, look, if you date me, you have to understand that I would put you before the rest of the world. That I would, if I were Spider-Man, I would save you over saving strangers all about the world. That I would ensure I save you first. If Green Goblin put my wife on a bridge and put a cart full of children on a bridge, I hope my wife would understand that I would have to save her first, and then if I have time, I will save the children. If a woman can't accept me for that, then I totally understand. I totally understand. You know, because I'm not a good guy. I would save my woman, just like how Peter Parker did. I would save my woman first, and then I would try to save the cart full of children. I would try to save them both. Like, don't get me wrong. I would let me go ahead and take the PG answer here, guys. The easy slam dunk. If I could save everybody all over the world all at once, all together, without any problems and no one getting hurt, I choose that. Okay, that's why I play Spider-Man, because at least he is helping people. At least we are putting criminals down, you know. So I would do that. I would save everybody. I actually do want to be a good guy. I definitely want to relate more to being a hero, a superhero, than a villain. I don't want to be a villain. But I'm telling you the truth. When it comes down to it, if you're expecting me to choose sacrificing my people over, you know, to save the world, I'm not that kind of hero. I'm not a good guy then. If you say, okay, fine, look, you can save your people and save the world, I'll be like, okay, yeah, then I am that kind of guy. But if you force me to have to choose, then yeah, I'm not a good guy. But if you let me choose to save everybody, then yeah, I'm a good guy. Does that make sense? That's just how it is. That's just how... And I don't blame anybody for thinking the same way, to be quite honest. I don't blame anybody for thinking. I don't blame. Do you think I like? Let's be honest here. That's just how the world is, man. That's just how the world is. You know? Like, do you think I could be upset at Spider-Man? Let's say in Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man picks saving his he picks his girlfriend first, obviously. But in this alternate universe of Spider-Man the movie Part 1, the Raimi trilogy, when he saves his girlfriend, the cart Spider-Man's unable to save the children. And then all the children drown and die. But his girlfriend, who he saved first, and this is lore, he saved first, she's alive. What are you supposed to do with that? Do you think as a parent, I'm supposed to be mad at that? That I'm supposed to be upset? Like I told you guys, okay? If I ever have children, I'm homeschooling them. So any field trips are going to involve me as their chaperone and me as their tour guide. That is the truth. Okay? Those children, they were on a field trip. So they were in a school, like a group organization. And in my opinion, okay, in today's day and age, okay, you can't rely on anyone but yourself to do the best job to protect your kin. You can't. I mean, even the Texas law enforcement people proved that you can't have faith in any institution, any organization. You gotta have faith in Jesus, and you gotta have faith in yourself, and you have to sacrifice your time in order to homeschool your kids if you want to ensure that they're safe. Yo, thanks for the follow, D Hunt. D Hunt 12. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that, man. That is a big deal. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy your stay. We just play Spider-Man all the time. We play Spider-Man and we have fun doing it. So yeah. All I can say is that if I could save everybody at the same time as Spider-Man, I will do that, okay? If I could save my family and save the whole world all in one swoop, I'm on that team. I'm on that team. There's no doubt. I'm on that team. But if you start trying to like really point out my flaws and try to really pick me apart, then I'm gonna do what Peter Parker did, okay? I'm gonna go after saving my girlfriend, and I'm gonna try to save the cart full of children after I rescue my girlfriend who's free falling in the air. You know, but it's just one of those things. Like I said, I would homeschool my children, okay, and then any field trips, I would be there. So guess what? I couldn't even blame Spider-Man for not saving the children, because guess what? I would be there. And so it would be my duty to make sure that I do everything I can. And if I have to sacrifice myself to save my kids, I would do that before I would count on Spider-Man. You feel me? That's all I can say. That's all I can say, cuz I'm thinking it was nighttime. At that point, it was nighttime. So I'm like, why is there a cart full of children on the Roosevelt trolley on the bridge at night? Where are the parents? Where are all the parents that are supposed to be with their kids at that time? You feel me? So you can't even. I don't know if you guys have a problem with me admitting some realness, then I'm sorry. But like I said, I definitely am on the side of mercy, compassion, and empathy. So you'll never see me side with like any of the villains. I think Dr. Octavius is wrong. I don't like Venom. I don't like Scorpion or Rhino. I don't like Electro, Vulture, Lizard, Stagron, the Kangaroo Man. I don't like the Sprawl creatures. I don't like any of those people. I like Spider-Man first and foremost. Okay? I don't like Craven. I don't like Dr. Mysterio. I don't like the Aquaman. Aquaman, Waterboy. I don't know what his name though. Sandman. I don't like Sandman either. I definitely like heroes more than I like villains. There's not one villain that I like that I prefer over a hero. Okay? It's just not, that's just not how I operate. I definitely feel like I'm more on the good side than the bad side. Okay? But I'm just trying to be real with you. Am I a perfect person? No, I'm not perfect. Come on now. I'm not a perfect person whatsoever. And I'm trying to tell you guys, okay, that it's heroism is complicated. There is no right answer. Okay, being a hero is complicated. Okay, you can't expect a hero to do right all the time. Okay, at the end of the day, a hero needs their own motivation. Otherwise, they're not human. Otherwise, they're just a robot. They're just an AI. Okay, and an AI has no one to fight for. So you know an AI would definitely choose saving the world because the world is all they know. No one to love. So of course they're not gonna. You're not gonna have to worry about an AI robot picking, choosing their loved ones over the world, because an AI is a robot that has no loyalties, has no real love. All right. So that's all I can say is that if you need to know why I keep saying I'm not a good guy, you definitely should just pray to Jesus Christ. That's what I tell you. I tell you that's the truth. Is because I'm not a perfect person. Okay? I make mistakes like everybody else. Okay? I'm not so all right. So as long as we can just come to an understanding, as long as we can come to an understanding and be like, yeah, I totally get that. Like if you can relate to that, if you can say, yeah, I have a really good, family, and I'm willing to, admit that if I had to choose, okay, if I had to choose between saving them and saving the world, I would try to save both, because that's what heroes do. But I would make sure my people are safe first. I don't have any problem with anyone else admitting that. I think we can all agree that if you have someone you actually love, you would make sure they're safe before you go after saving the world. It's just how it is. It's the real deal. It's true. And if you don't have someone that you love like that, then yeah, it probably would be a very easy slam dunk answer to say, yeah, I have no one to love. I have no one to look to spend time with after this. So I might as well go ahead and save the world anyway. You know? And like I said, Jesus Christ already made that sacrifice. He didn't have a woman. He didn't have family. Okay? He had nothing except love for the whole world. Because he didn't see any special relationships that were worth protecting over the world. Jesus already made that sacrifice to save the whole world. That's why everyone else, all of us as humans, don't have to feel guilty about making that choice, because Jesus already ensured that we could be saved. Now the job for us to do is to just acknowledge God as having made that sacrifice and live our life as virtuously, as mercifully, and as compassionately as we can to other people, in the spirit of the, love of Christ, who already made that tough choice on our behalf. So we don't have to worry about that now. You know? So that's all I can say about that. If someone disagrees, that's fine. But like I said, it's not an easy sell. It's not an easy sell to explain that you're not a good person. Okay? I know it's not it's not an easy thing to admit. But I admit it freely because it's the truth. I'm just a one person and I'm just doing my best. And I'm telling you guys, like, yeah, if I had someone that that I really loved, like Peter and Mary Jane. Peter saved Mary Jane. Okay? He saved her first before he saved the bus full of children. He saved both, okay? But that's the PG answer, obviously. We don't want to see Peter saving just his girlfriend and then the bus explodes and all the children burn up. Okay? It's that who wants to see such a bleak hero movie? Is the truth. So obviously, yeah, in a perfect world with heroes that are slightly imperfect, but in a perfect scenario type world, yeah, a superhero is gonna be able to save everyone, and ideally, that's what I would want anyway. But I'm just telling you that I acknowledge that sometimes it don't work out like that. In reality, it don't work out like that all the time. So I'm definitely just openly admitting that if I had to choose, I would choose the same thing Peter did. Choose his wife, choose his girlfriend, choose his family, and then try to save the world. Okay? And then in the last movie, the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, where like in the last movie he loses his aunt because he thinks he can rehabilitate like his enemies and stuff, and then the Green Goblin from the Raimi trilogy ends up killing his Aunt May in the No Longer Home or Far From Home movie. Literally. Literally. Oh man, that was a heartbreaker. Oh man, I cried. I think I cried every Spider-Man movie. I guess emotional. It's that like, and can you blame anybody for getting emotional there? And Peter literally tried rehabilitating these people. He literally tried rehabilitating them. He tried his best. They were all coming through like the portal, through multiverses, and then he ended up losing his aunt. So would I be like, oh yeah, I'll rehabilitate anybody, everyone? I'm like, no. Okay. No, I learned straight up. You don't want like, it's one of those things, guys. Like if someone was asking me for shelter, okay, I would respectfully give them money and call them an Uber and send them to a hotel. Okay, but they can't stay in my house. Okay? If I'm a bad person for saying I won't keep a random person in my home and I won't trust them, if that makes me a terrible person, then I'm a terrible person. I'll tell you straight up. Fine. I'm not a good guy, okay? If I had a wife, if I had a girlfriend, if I had children in my home, my kids, no one besides my family, literally, besides the people that live in the house, would actually be 100% allowed in my home. Nobody else would really be allowed up in there. If someone was asking me, hey, look, homeless, blah blah blah, I'd be like, you know what? I totally get it, man. And you know what? Jesus is my God, and I want to be compassionate and merciful. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna reserve a hotel for you, and I'm gonna call an Uber for you, and you can go over there and you can get that Uber and you can stay at the hotel. All right. And if they're grateful, they'll be like, "Thank you so much. I'm gonna just, and I'll tell them, look, you can either wait on my porch. I'll bring you something to drink. You can wait on my porch until the Uber comes. I'm gonna call the Uber right now, okay? And I'm gonna tell them where to go, and then I'm gonna call the reservation, okay? But I'm calling the Uber right now, so it'll only be like 10 minutes. And that's what I would do. And if that makes me a terrible guy, then I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible man. Okay. All right. If I had the money for it, I'd be like, hey, look, I'll call you an Uber. I'll reserve you a hotel, and I hope your life gets better, man. You know. But will I invite them to stay in my house? No. No way. Nope. Nope. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. There's no room here. There's really no room here. Okay, but I will gladly call to reserve a hotel. Reserve a hotel room, and you can stay up in that hotel room, chill in that hotel room. You got it all right there. I'd even give them some money to order out or like eat at a restaurant, whatever they want. But would I invite them to my home? No. Okay, I would not. If that makes me a terrible human being, I'm really sorry, then fine. Okay, I'm a terrible human being, fine. It's like, oh, Salsa, you wouldn't let all of the homeless all over the neighborhood live in your house? I'd be like, no. It's like, oh, Salsa, you wouldn't trust strangers to be around your kids? No. Ah, Salsa, you're a terrible human being. You are a terrible human being, Salsa. How dare you not martyr yourself? How dare you? I'm like, sorry. Very sorry. But I do my best, and like I said, money would not be an issue at all, you know? Like, I give money away freely. There was this guy, he owned a gas station. I'm not lying. I moved into town. I had to do laundry outside because my laundry machine wasn't working here in the apartment. So I did laundry out there, and then I went to this laundromat. And as I'm doing laundry, someone comes in with their phone and says, "Hey, and they just look at me like, "Hey, could you help me with this?" And basically, they wanted me to help them like fill out an application for a loan. And apparently, like, this guy was giving me a sad story that basically his kids are in college and all this stuff. But basically, his business is failing. He owns like a mini store and like a mini gas station. And he asked me to help him out, and I did. He asked for my number, I gave it to him. Called me again, asked me to help him again apply for another loan. So I did. When I went to the store, he asked me if I had like $50 or $100, and I said sure. And he's like, he'll pay me back. I'm like, okay, sure. And then like a few weeks later, I give him a call. I go to the store, and I'm like, hey, I lent you $100. Do you have that? And then he looks at me, he smiles, and he laughs. He's like, no, I don't. And he starts laughing at me, like he knows he's not gonna pay me back. And instead of getting upset, I was like, okay, because he started trying to make an excuse. He's like, look, I don't have that, but, and then he starts trying to show me like another loan application for another loan for his business or whatever. And I just respectfully say, hey, look, it's all good, man. Good luck with that. And then I walked out of his store, and that's it. So I'm out $100. And I gave it to him, And it's not like I mean, he has a business. He has children in college. He has a life. And so, luckily for me, I don't have anyone who depended on that $100. That's why I was able to freely give it to that guy. If I had children, if I had, like a wife, a girlfriend, whatever, I'm not gonna just be able to freely give out $100 like that. But he's lucky that I don't have a life, that I don't have any connections to this world. So I'll give away all of my money because I don't have anyone to protect or financially provide for. So he's lucky, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to give him that $100. But the idea is that I'll never get that money back, right? He'll never pay me back. I haven't seen him in months because my laundry machine works now, so I don't even bother asking for that money back. At this point, I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I read in the Bible that it says, you're supposed to share your resources with other people. Like Christians would just share their money with other people because money don't matter. Jesus and praise for Jesus is what matters. Money doesn't matter. Money's not something that you need in heaven. And so you shouldn't be beholden to money. You definitely shouldn't be beholden to money that, is based on the pyramids. With those pyramid dollars and then a big weird eye. If you look at the Wikipedia page, they try to claim that, the three sides of the triangle are supposed to represent the Trinity of Jesus. And I'm like, why not just put a cross then on the dollar? Why put a weird divine eye thing and then lie on Wikipedia saying that it's supposed to be a Christian symbol? I never heard of no Christian symbol being a triangle in the Bible. But like I said, it's not my problem. So I gave away that cash, and I really don't mind it because, like I said, I don't have anyone that needs that money. But if I had a family and I was strapped for cash, I couldn't give that money away. I couldn't. You know what I mean? I couldn't. I would not be able to. You know what I mean? No way. Unfortunately, if that makes me a bad guy, then fine, guys. I am trying to tell you, I'm not a good person. Because I'm telling you all these scenarios that basically make me not a good person. That make me not a martyr. Okay? Trying to explain to you guys. Okay? I'm a Christian. That means I believe Jesus already martyred himself on our behalf. There's no reason for me to sacrifice anything. You feel me? If I can give something away, I will. But if I'm blessed and I get to have a family, I will not be able to just give away money like that. And to be quite honest, I don't blame anyone for also feeling that same way. It's like in the best of times, right now, because I don't have anything, I'll give everything that I have away. Nothing really matters. But if I had to protect someone else, in the same way that Peter chose to save his girlfriend over saving the children, in the same way that Miles won't admit that he will save his family before he tries to save the world in the Spider-Verse trailer, in the same way that a lot of people who are not Jesus Christ will do, they will just try their best, save as many as they can, but at the end of the day, they have their preference for their own kin. It's just how it is. I don't blame anyone for feeling that way. I wouldn't blame anyone for coming out and admitting that, yeah, they would try to save the world if they could, but if they had to truly choose whether to save their family or the world, I don't blame anyone for choosing their family first. It's just how it is. It's just how it is, guys. You know? If I'm mistaken, if the entire rest of the world would be willing to sacrifice and martyr themselves to save the world, then by all means, I guess I'm an outlier. I guess I'm an outlier for sure. Okay? Maybe I'm mistaken. But to be quite honest, if more people felt opposite and were willing to sacrifice all their things on behalf of saving the world, I think the world would probably be a way different place than it is right now. I think more people are actually trying their best, but acknowledging that, hey, if they have people they protect and they love, they're gonna show their love by choosing them and prioritizing them. That's what love is supposed to be. Love is supposed to be prioritization of those things. And that's why Jesus asked us to love Jesus. Because if you love Jesus, you prioritize Jesus. Okay? It's not if you love Jesus, then you would pick Jesus first. You wouldn't pick other things and then Jesus after. So if you love something, the way you prove it is by choosing them first. That's why I know Peter Parker loves Mary Jane. There's no doubt. Because when it came time to pick, he chose saving his girlfriend first over saving a bus full of children. Okay? That's what he did. And that's what and just like him, that's what I would do too. That's exactly what I would do. And I'm not going to be shy about admitting that. I would do exactly what Peter Parker does. Okay? And like I said, you know, I'm very grateful to God that I can be as easy come, easy go. Okay? Because it takes a lot of effort and sacrifice. Okay, and I pray every day that I could be worthy of being loved by a good woman, and that I could love my woman and inspire her to love me the same way back. Okay, but if a woman has trouble with me admitting that I would pick her over the whole world, and then she'd be like, oh snap, uh-oh. And then the rest of the world is like, oh, your husband, your boyfriend would choose saving you over all of us. I'm sorry if I put a lot of pressure. I'm sorry if I put a lot of pressure, but that's just how it is, man. I don't think if more people felt the opposite of what I felt, then the world would not be the way it is, would it? But I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel just like how I feel. Or it's like they want to try to save the world, but if they had to choose, they would save their people first and then try to save the world after. And I don't blame them. Most people are like that. I'm like that. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't think I'm a good person. I saw this movie, Ex Machina, or whatever. It's like a 2015 movie. Basically, I mentioned it before. It's like it follows this guy who invented like a really believable AI and like an AI bot, and it was a female AI bot. Like the gender of the AI bot was like supposed to be female. Anyways, at one point, like the AI bot starts like questioning the tester, like the guy who's supposed to like test the AI bot. And one of the questions she asks the guy, the human guy, is whether he thinks he's a good person. He's like, "Are you a good person?" And the guy, he said yes. And I'm like, that's how you know he's a terrible person. That's how you know he's a terrible person. No one who's a good person is gonna say they're a good person. They're gonna say, no, I'm a bad person. It's like that joke of like, only crazy people think they're not crazy. People who are actually sane will say, oh, I might be a little off. You feel me? So all I can say is that, you know, if someone asks me straight up, Salsa, you think you're a good person? I'm gonna tell them no. I don't think I'm a good person. And then when they ask me why, Soup, yo, Soup, Soup, I changed it. What did I change, Soup? Welcome in, Soup. I hope you're doing well, brother. I know you told me you weren't feeling good yesterday. I really hope you're feeling better today, man. I hope you're feeling better today, cause you know, I was definitely worried about you, man. I was hoping everything was good. You said I changed it. I changed it. I changed it. What do you mean, brother? I changed what? What did I change? Um, are you saying I changed the game category? Cause yeah. I explained earlier in the stream, basically I was trying to play Miles Morales first, but Steam updated this thing. Steam updated, and then now my Miles Morales tool doesn't run very well on Steam anymore. So I can't play Miles Morales right now. You don't feel good. What is that suit? Oh, it's called Urban Spider. It's the Urban Spider. Let me here, let me I'm gonna end this round. Let me I'll show you real quick on my suit screen. It's called Urban Spider. It's supposed to be something like similar to like Jedi Josh 920's uh icon. Because Jedi Josh uses like a meme picture of Snoop Dogg. So I use the Urban Ugly. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, well, no, who's that? That's Soup? Yeah. Soup, I won't be able to unban that, but look, I'll show you real quick. Suits. It's called Urban Spider. It's a replacer for the advanced suit. So, yeah. But I got this suit too, which is good. Um, yeah, I won't be able to allow that phrase, Soup, but yeah, I hope you're doing good, man. I hope you're doing good. I hope life is treating you well, you know. It's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you. I hope you do feel better. I know you don't feel good right now. Add in the Victor Ibarra suit. Who is... I saw that suit. Who's Victor Ibarra? Isn't that just like a modder? I was reading the comments, and apparently it's just a person who added their personality into a suit or whatever. Like, I don't like adding personalities. I just like staying like consistent to like Spider-Man. So I try not to get political. I don't get political, and like there are plenty of other suits that are based on like real people, like K-pop people, and there was a Mr. Beast suit or whatever, that personality who's like a famous philanthropist or whatever. So I don't add any of those because I try to just stay consistent. I don't think I'm gonna add the Victor Ibarra suit. It's a virus. Still hasn't been removed, and it's just the creator themselves. It's a virus? Oh. Is it really a virus? No one in Nexus Mods said anything like that. That is terrible. It's a virus? Oh, that's so messed up. That is so messed up. That is really messed up, though. It really is a virus? Aw. I can't believe someone would do that. The files haven't been scanned. I'll download it. Well, if it's a virus, then yeah, I wouldn't download it. It was weird because like the picture is not even a picture of the dude. It's just a picture of like like a torso with the head like cropped out of the picture. So I'm like, what? But no, I don't want to add Victor Ibarra. But yeah. Yeah, Soup. It's good to see you, man. If I download it in a virtual machine, the virus won't spread to my PC, only in that virtual machine. Yeah, I've heard of virtual machines, yeah. But just be careful, Soup. I mean, really, it's just it's just running Windows and Windows. Yeah, I've heard of virtual machines. They're like sandbox environments for testing and stuff. Yeah. I don't really care to have a virtual machine or anything like that. I'm just like whatever. I'm a simple man. I already have enough issues with Windows 10 by default and all the updates. So I was bitten by a radioactive spider. I'm Victor Ibarra. I've been saving the city. I fought Green Goblin. Yeah. Right? Good for him. Good for him. Does he stream? Does that guy Victor Ibarra stream at all? I don't do social media and I don't really look into people, but does he stream at all? Because I mean, it would be a big deal like if he has his own suit in the game and he streams it. That would be pretty legendary. You know? That would be pretty legendary. Don't know, just know the Nexus says that there's suspicious files. Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta be careful. Like I saw there was this yeah. Yeah, I don't trust that either. I know there was like a mod a few days ago that was talking about like a co-op spawner for Spider-Man, and it was like an EXE, and you had to go to like a mega upload place and all that. And then the next day, it got removed because I guess it was a virus. So yeah, I don't trust any of those things. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. But yeah. Your PFP changed. My banner. Yeah! My banner did change. I I found someone who was able to make a banner for me. So I'm using their banner. It's more professional, I think, and you know, it's not that bad. So I'm just gonna, embrace change, man. I'm just gonna embrace it. I think it looks more professional though. I changed my icon, my profile picture, and my banner. So, you know, so I think it's all right. I think it came out definitely a lot better than anything I was using. I was just using like a picture of like a cityscape or whatever. But now it's like more like, it's more of like a regular, hey, I'm a streamer type of banner. So it's probably not as off-putting. It's like, oh yeah, it just looks like another regular channel. And like I said, I don't really care. Um, I'm just glad that, hey, you know what? I'm just joining the fold, right? You know? So, yep, but I changed my stuff. I sure did. Yup. Change is coming. Yeah, but yeah, that's that, you know. That is that. We just out here. We just out here, you know. You now have donations? No. I do not have donations. I do not. I do not have donations whatsoever. I still need a government I number. And what's so ridiculous is that, you know, if they're saying I have to go contract with the government to get an I number, I'm like, that probably takes money just to get an I number from the government. So I really don't have the money to spend to have all that stuff done. It's all good though. Honestly, like when I when I click on it now I can. Otherwise it wouldn't load. Oh, yeah. Well, just be careful, Soup. I don't want you to waste your money, brother. I don't really. It's all good. I haven't even really set it up properly. So if you send a donation, it'll probably just stay stuck with PayPal because I haven't even connected my I haven't connected anything to it. Like I couldn't finalize it because they wanted an EIN number from the American government. But I'm like, how do I get one? And they didn't tell me. So I'm like, okay, so can I accept donations or not? It's like, yeah, but you have to get an EIN number. I'm like, okay, how do I get that? And then they were just quiet on it. So I'm like, obviously the technology just isn't there yet, you know. So I'm like, I can't be bothered. I'm that lazy. I can't even be bothered to figure out how to set up donations. But it's all good. I'm really just grateful for your follow and your chatting. That means a lot more anyway. Like I said, I'm very fortunate in that I don't have to care about money right now. No one depends on me for anything. I don't have to feed my daughter or my son. I don't have to put shelter for a wife or girlfriend. So I really don't need the cash. But you should save it, brother. You should save it for you just in case for a rainy day. So, but yeah, so unfortunately I could not get Miles Morales to work. I would have played Miles Morales to start today. But I don't know what it is about Steam. Like are you ever gonna stream Arkham Asylum? No. It would make my day. I can't, brother. I can't stream Arkham Asylum. It would make your day. Oh man, Soup. I really wish that I could, but I cannot play Arkham Asylum. I don't have it downloaded, and I also I played over 900 hours of Spider-Man, practicing and playing. With Arkham Asylum, I'd have to learn how to play all over again, and I kind of just like to just play and just focus on one thing at a time. So I tried streaming Batman before, and it's just not my type of combat. The combat system is just not good. It's not compelling enough for me. Yeah, you played way more than I did. I haven't played 50 hours of Arkham Asylum. The problem is that the combat is just not that fun. In Spider-Man, I can use gadgets and I can fight and do combos at the same time. In Batman Arkham Asylum, you can't. You can only do punches, and it's just not the same. Unfortunately, it's just not. So I really now in the future I might play Insomniac's Wolverine. I might play Iron Man. I might play Control 2. I might play the Captain America Black Panther game. I might play Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man 2. Those games I might play, but those are like superhero based games. But I just won't. I can use, yeah. No, I know, Soup. I know you can use gadgets. The problem is that the way the combat was created, you can't really use gadgets in the same free flow manner that I can do it here. Like, look, I can do all this all at once in real time. For Batman Arkham Asylum, trust me, I tried. When I tried using explosive gel in a fight, they just kept punching me. I kept losing my combo string. I can't, it's just not the same. Unfortunately, it's just not the same. So I'm not gonna be able to play stream Arkham Asylum. But other superhero games, I might give it a try. Iron Man, if Iron Man comes out, I heard Iron Man is being worked on. Control 2 is being worked on. Captain America Black Panther game is being worked on. A Wolverine game is being worked on by Insomniac. Spider-Man 2 is being worked on by Insomniac. So I'm gonna give those games a try. But Arkham Asylum, it's just the combat's just not where I want it to be. I had to endure a lot too while playing Asylum. Getting all achievements was annoying. Yeah, no, I mean I think the game is a really good game. And, you know, it's definitely worth playing. I played it. It's worth playing for sure. Like, if anyone's never played it before, I definitely recommend it. I just don't particularly like it. It's just not for me. It's just not as, in my opinion, I like Spider-Man better. In Spider-Man, I can like fly around. In Batman Arkham Asylum, you're always like stuck to the ground. So I just don't like it as much, you know. But you know, to each their own. I think that's awesome that you like Batman, Soup. I think that's really cool. You know, and I like Spider-Man, and we can all get along here. Yeah. See, that's that right there. It's a better flow in Spider-Man. Cause trust me, Soup, trust me. I tried. I really tried to get more gadget use in the Batman games just so that it felt like I could do as much gadget work as like punch combo work. But Spider-Man just gets a better feel. It just hands down, I really like Spider-Man a lot more. You know? But that's not to say Batman isn't cool. Batman's very cool. I like Spider-Man a lot. And I really just feel like focusing on developing like one type of content is just better for my channel right now. Like, you know, I just feel like it's just where I like to be. Like, I know I could play a whole bunch of other games, But my channel, I just want to keep it consistent. I just want to keep it Spider-Man-y, unless there's like a superhero game that I want to try and play for a little bit, and then we go back to Spider-Man. That's really how I want to do it. You know, where it's like there are other games and I could feature other games, but Spider-Man, I really feel like this is where I want it to stay. You see, it's just a better flow here. I think it just works better. I feel like for me, my preference is just doing what I like to do best. You know, I like Spider-Man best. But you can definitely you know, enjoy yourself with Batman Arkham Asylum. I feel like that's a good game and it's very well made and it's fun. It's got a lot of good gameplay loops. I'm just not interested, to be quite honest. It's just not my thing. You know, I spent so much time really getting all the mods to working the way I want them to in this game. So it's like for me to start from scratch for Batman when I could have already been doing Batman and I just don't want to do Batman. I just don't. I just don't like Batman like that. My brother is really into Batman. Okay? He likes Batman. I don't like Batman all that much. I think Batman's cool. I'm just not that much into Batman. I like Spider-Man. I might stream it in the future if I got back into streaming. That'd be really cool.